Hello and welcome to the video. In this video we're going to talk about a trick that I have covered before, but I'm going to recover it because of something that had happened last month. Now this is the trick where if you have a radio that will show you the RSSI signal strength from the receiver, something like the Taranis will work, but there are lots of other radios that will show you as well, and the radio receiver in the model still has power, you can get to within 10 to 12 feet of the model without too much trouble at all. Now in a recent flying day I went to one of my friend's farms and we were flying over his land. It was a very overcast grey day, it was quite windy, it had that weird quality of light where it was getting difficult to see some of the models, but I threw up this model here, the EF Extra, and was flying it around and then started to lose orientation and really getting into trouble. So I ditched the plane into one of the fields just behind where we're flying, and then it was a case of having to trog through all of the brush and the underbrush, walking down the overgrown lanes at the side of these planted fields in shorts, which is very exciting when there's lots of nettles around, to eventually find the model. And as I was using this trick to locate the model, which unfortunately when I found it looks like this, because of course it hadn't landed in any of the crops and had a nice safe landing. What it had done was try to fly through a mature hedge, and the hedge had done a fantastic job of snipping off every single little protuberance that stuck out from the side of the model. Needless to say, this one probably won't fly again, but I will be getting myself another EF Extra because actually this is a really nice plane. I was a bit heartbroken that this had happened. But as we were walking around and I was using this trick, my friend, who's been flying for probably 20 years, had never seen this RSSI trick used. So the reason for the video is just to remake it, one, so he can find it if he ever has the problem and I'm not with him, but also for those of you out there that may have not tried this yet, to remind you that this is available if you have a similar situation. So what this trick relies on is the fact that the antennas on the top of our radios are not omnidirectional. They are better and more sensitive in one direction than the other. And the way it works is that the top or the tip of the antenna tends to have the poorest reception, where the sides of the antennas actually tend to have the best. And that's why most people tend to fly with the antenna at 90 degrees, because you have the best area of reception pointing into the flying area. But if you have it set up this way, if you have the antenna pushed over to the side, if you can go into the menu and show where the RSSI signal strength is, and if you haven't had it set up before, what I'd recommend is going into the menu for the model that you're using. If you're using something like a Taranis, go right to the very end to the telemetry screen, go down to discover new sensors and click enter, and that will start to look for sensors. And initially you might not receive any information from the craft at all, but as you start to walk towards where you last saw the model, you will see the sensors start to populate, which is usually the sign that the model still has power. As you continue to walk in the direction of the model, the signal strength will gently increase as you get closer and closer. And what you need to do once every 100 yards or so as you're walking towards the model is to stop and then to gently move in a 180 degree arc from side to side, carefully watching the RSSI signal strength as you do it. And it will go up and down as you move the radio around, and you're looking for the strongest signal. And you need to keep doing that and making sure that the RSSI signal is increasing. You'll actually find as you start to get near the model, the RSSI signal strength will start to rise exponentially. So where initially it might have only been rising by 5 or 10 in the first couple of 100 yards, as you get very close to the model, you'll find it go up dramatically. So it'll go from 60 to 80 or 60 to 85, and that tells you that you're getting very close. And once you're kind of over the 85 mark, then you are getting to very close proximity to the model. And then it's worthwhile stopping and actually doing a full 360 degree rotation just to make sure that you haven't walked past it. Now using this method, we found the remains of my EF Extra within about 20 minutes at the edge of a field, and it was actually pretty close to where we last saw it. It's probably about 300 yards away because it was going at a reasonable pace and it came in at a reasonably shallow angle. But hopefully that helps those of you that are looking to use this method. First of all, if you can still get any kind of telemetry from the model at all, then of course make sure that you have your throttle failsafe set and all those other pieces too. Make sure that there isn't a chance that it's sat with the engine running, and then with your radio in your hand, display the RSSI value, make sure that the antenna is bent as shown in the video, and use that directionality of the sensitivity of the antenna itself to lead you into your model. Thank you for taking the time to watch that video, and particularly for watching right to the very end. We try and release a video on Tuesday and Friday, and sometimes we'll release 1 or 2 extra ones in a week as well. All of the videos on the channel are organised into easy to use playlists, so do have a look in there, because if you're interested in a subject, we organise all the videos on that subject so you can find them easily all together in one place. If you like what we're doing, then please like and subscribe and tell others about the channel so they can come and join as well. We're available in all of the usual social media places, particularly in places like Instagram, Twitter, and we also share all of our 3D designs on Thingiverse.